A massive winter storm is racing toward Canada right now, and if you live anywhere from British Columbia to the Maritimes, the next 72 hours will rewrite your weekend plans. 50 million Canadians are about to face conditions we haven't seen in years. But here's what nobody else is telling you about this storm and why the timing of when it hits your city changes everything. Right now, at this very moment, a low-pressure system is intensifying over the Pacific Northwest, pulling moisture from as far south as California. This isn't your typical January weather pattern. Meteorologists are calling this a once-in-a-decade setup, and the numbers are staggering. We're retracking wind gusts up to 120 kilometers per hour, snowfall rates of 5 centimeters per hour, and temperature drops of 15 degrees Celsius in just 6 hours. But stick with me for the next 30 seconds because I am going to tell you the exact hour this storm arrives in your neighborhood, and more importantly, I'll show you the 3-hour window when conditions become dangerous, not just inconvenient. Here's your first critical detail. Vancouver residents, you are looking at storm arrival Friday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific time. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The heaviest precipitation to be snow initially. You're getting hit with freezing rain first, starting at 8:30 a.m., lasting until noon. That is 4.5 hours of ice accumulation on every surface. Power lines, tree branches, roads, everything. Then the temperature crashes, and what fell as freezing rain turns to heavy snow by 2 p.m. Friday afternoon. Toronto, your timeline is completely different, and this is crucial. Your storm doesn't arrive until Saturday morning, but when it does, it is bringing something we rarely see in southern Ontario: thunder snow. Yes, lightning and thunder during a snowstorm starting at 4 a.m. Saturday. The heaviest snowfall hits between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Saturday, dropping 25 to 35 centimeters in just 7 hours. Highway 401 becomes impassable by 9 a.m. Montreal, you are caught in the worst position. The storm stalls over your region Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. That is 18 continuous hours of heavy snow. Accumulations of 40 to 50 centimeters are expected, with some areas north of the city seeing 60 centimeters. The peak intensity hits Saturday evening between 6 p.m. and midnight. If you need to travel, your window is Friday. After that, you are staying put until Monday. Now comment below with your city name and I will give you the specific forecast for your area because this storm behaves differently depending on where you are. And trust me, what I am about to reveal at the 5-minute mark about Calgary will surprise even longtime Albertans. Let's talk about the Maritimes because Halifax, St. John, and Charlottetown are facing a double threat. The storm arrives late Saturday night around 11 p.m. Atlantic time, but it's preceded by a flash freeze. Temperatures drop from +2 degrees Celsius at 4 p.m. Saturday to -12 degrees Celsius by 10 p.m. Any wet surfaces become instant ice rinks. Then the snow begins, heavy and wind-driven, with gusts reaching 90 to 110 kilometers per hour off the Atlantic. Visibility drops to 0 in blowing snow by 2 a.m. Sunday. Here's a number that should get your attention. Emergency management offices across 6 provinces have already pre-positioned equipment and opened coordination centers. They don't do this for routine winter weather. They expecting widespread power outages lasting 48 to 72 hours in some regions. Edmonton, you're getting hit Friday evening starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, but your challenge isn't the snow accumulation, it's the wind chill. Arctic air crashes in behind this system, and by Saturday morning, wind chills reach -40 degrees Celsius. Exposed skin freezes in less than 5 minutes. The actual air temperature drops to -32 degrees Celsius, but combined with winds gusting to 70 kilometers per hour, it feels like -45. This is dangerous, life-threatening cold. Winnipeg, you're already no stranger to extreme cold, but this system brings you a blizzard warning. Starting Friday night at 10 p.m. Central Time, you are looking at 40 centimeter snowfall combined with those same brutal wind chills. The worst conditions hit between midnight Friday and 10 a.m. Saturday. Main highways close. The airport shuts down. This is a stay-home situation. Saskatchewan residents in Regina and Saskatoon, your storm window opens Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central Time. What makes this particularly treacherous for you is the rapid transition. At noon Friday, you are at -5 degrees Celsius with partly cloudy skies. By 6 p.m., you are in a full blizzard with temperatures at -23 degrees Celsius and falling. That is an 18-degree drop in 6 hours while snow is falling at 4 to 5 centimeters per hour. Now here's that Calgary information I promised you 5 minutes ago. Calgary, you're getting something unusual. This storm splits as it crosses the Rockies. You will see the first wave Friday morning bringing 10 to 15 centimeters of snow between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., then a brief lull Friday evening. But the second, stronger wave arrives Saturday at 4 a.m., bringing another 20 to 25 centimeters, but with much stronger winds. Chinook winds mixing with Arctic air create a chaotic weather pattern. Temperatures fluctuate wildly from -15 to -2 and back to -18, all within 12 hours. Let me give you the 3 phases of this storm because understanding the timeline saves lives. Phase 1, initial arrival and rapid intensification. This is when the storm first reaches your region. Snow or freezing rain begins, often lighter than expected. People think this isn't so bad and make the fatal mistake of trying to travel. Dawn T. The worst is yet to come. Phase 2. Peak intensity. This is the dangerous window. Visibility drops, winds peak, and snowfall rates max out. This phase lasts between 4 and 8 hours depending on your location. Emergency services can reach you during this phase. You are on your own. Power outages happen now. This is why you need supplies ready before the storm arrives. Phase 3. The backside. The snow tapers off, but this is when the real cold arrives. Arctic air floods in behind the system. What fell as wet, heavy snow freezes solid. Roads that were merely snow-covered become ice-covered. Temperatures plummet 15 to 20 degrees below the daytime highs. This phase is when frostbite and hypothermia risks spike. British Columbia interior cities like Kelowna and Kamloops, you re-looking at a different beast entirely. The storm wraps moisture around the mountains, creating lake-effect snowbands off Okanagan Lake. Starting Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time and continuing through Saturday evening, you could see snowfall rates of 6 to 8 centimeters per hour in intense bands. Total accumulations of 50 to 70 centimeters are possible, with some localized areas seeing even more. Ottawa, you are synced with Montreal's timeline, but your snowfall amounts are slightly lower, 25 to 40 centimeters between Saturday morning and Sunday morning. The peak falls Saturday afternoon between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. What makes Ottawa particularly challenging is the mix of snow and ice pellets Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. This creates a crusty, heavy base layer that's extremely difficult to shovel or plow. Quebec City, you re-north enough that you stay all snow, no mixing. That's good news for accumulation rates. 40 to 55 centimeters falls between Saturday noon and Sunday 6 a.m. The heaviest period is Saturday evening from 7 p.m. to midnight, when snowfall rates reach 5 to 6 centimeters per hour. The St. Lawrence River Valley funnels wind, creating near whiteout conditions Saturday night. Thunder Bay, you are the western edge of the worst impacts. The storm reaches you Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You will see 20 to 30 centimeters of snow, but your bigger issue is the duration. This system moves slowly over Lake Superior, keeping snow falling through Sunday morning. Accumulations come in waves. 10 centimeters Friday night, another 10 Saturday, and the final 10 Sunday morning. Here's a critical safety point that applies everywhere. The most dangerous time isn't during the storm. It's in the first 6 hours after it ends. Everyone rushes out at once. Plows haven to cleared side streets. Cars are buried and people try to dig out quickly, overexerting themselves in extreme cold. Heart attacks spike. People slip on ice. Carbon monoxide poisoning happens when people warm up cars in garages. This is when most injuries and deaths occur. Let me address rural areas specifically because if you live outside major cities, your situation is more serious. Plow priority goes to highways and main roads first. Your road might not see a plow for 24 to 48 hours after the storm ends. You need minimum 72 hours of supplies, food, water, medications, battery-powered lights, and heating alternatives. Cell towers can go down in strong winds. Have a landline or satellite phone if possible. Atlantic Canada, let's dive deeper into your forecast because the coastal dynamics create unique challenges. The storm tracks just south of Nova Scotia, putting you on the worst side of the system. Coastal flooding combines with astronomical high tides Sunday morning. Expect minor to moderate coastal flooding in low-lying areas between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Sunday. Waves reach 4 to 6 meters in height. Beach erosion accelerates. Stay away from coastlines Saturday night through Sunday morning. Northern Ontario and northern Quebec, you re-getting clipped by the northern edge of this system. Snowfall amounts are lower, 15 to 25 centimeters, but you re-getting the coldest air. Temperatures drop to minus 35 to minus 40 degrees Celsius Sunday morning. With wind chills approaching minus 50, this is stay inside weather. Vehicles want to start without block heaters. Diesel fuel gels, this is survival mode cold. Now, here is something most forecasts want to tell you. The snow from this storm has high water content. It's as heavy, wet snow in many regions, especially areas that see above freezing temperatures before the storm. This type of snow weighs 60 to 80 kilograms per cubic meter, compared to dry powder snow at 20 kilograms per cubic meter. What does this mean? Roof collapse risks, especially on older structures, garages, and agricultural buildings. If you have a flat or low-slope roof, you need to monitor this. Vancouver Island, you are getting the rain shadow effect from the mountains in some areas, but coastal sections get hammered. Victoria sees mostly rain, 50 to 80 millimeters Friday into Saturday. But Courtenay, Port Alberni, and the West Coast get significant snowfall at higher elevations, 30 to 50 centimeters above 300 meters elevation. This creates a rain-snow line that's difficult to forecast precisely. Plan for the worst-case scenario. Southern Alberta cities beyond Calgary like Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, you are drier but face the extreme cold. Snowfall stays under 15 centimeters, but Saturday morning wind chills reach minus 38 to minus 42 degrees Celsius. Livestock need shelter. Outdoor water sources freeze solid. This is the kind of cold that finds every gap in your home's insulation. Let's talk about power outages specifically, because this is a major concern. The combination of heavy wet snow, ice accumulation, and high winds creates perfect conditions for widespread power failures. Utility companies are staffing up now, bringing in crews from neighboring provinces. But here is the reality. If power goes out during the peak of the storm, restoration can begin until conditions improve. That means if you lose power Saturday afternoon, you might not see crews working on it until Sunday afternoon or Monday. Have alternative heat sources. Never use barbecues or generators indoors. Carbon monoxide is odorless and kills quickly. Here's your travel guidance, and this is critical. Friday morning through Sunday evening, avoid all non-essential travel. I know people think they can handle winter driving, but this isn't a normal winter weather. When meteorologists use terms like life-threatening and extremely dangerous, believe them. Highways close not because officials are overly cautious, but because rescue resources are stretched thin. If you crash and need help during the peak of this storm, help might not arrive for hours. Air travel faces massive disruptions. Toronto Pearson, Montreal Trudeau, Ottawa McDonald Cartier, Halifax Stanfield, and Vancouver International all expect significant delays and cancellations Saturday and Sunday. If you have travel plans, contact your airline now. Rebooking fees are waived for this storm by most carriers. Getting stranded in an airport for 36 hours isn't fun. Getting stranded on a highway is dangerous. Now let me give you the hour-by-hour breakdown for the largest cities, because timing is everything. Vancouver. Friday, 6 a.m. storm arrives, 8:30 a.m. freezing rain begins, 12 p.m. freezing rain ends, 2 p.m. heavy snow begins, 8 p.m. snow tapers, midnight storm exits. Total, 15 to 25 millimeters ice, 15 to 25 centimeters snow. Calgary. Friday, 8 a.m. First wave arrives, 2 p.m. First wave ends, 4 a.m. Saturday second wave begins, 2 p.m. Saturday second wave ends. Total, 35 to 40 centimeters snow. Edmonton, Friday, 7 p.m. Snow begins, midnight peak intensity, 10 a.m. Saturday snow ends. Total, 20 to 30 centimeters snow, wind chill minus 45 degrees Celsius. Saskatoon and Regina, Friday 3 p.m. snow begins, 6 p.m. blizzard conditions develop, 10 a.m. Saturday peak winds, 4 p.m. Saturday snow ends. Total 30 to 40 centimeters snow. Winnipeg, Friday 10 p.m. snow begins, 2 a.m. Saturday blizzard conditions, 10 a.m. Saturday peak intensity, 6 p.m. Saturday improvement begins. Total 35 to 45 centimeters snow. Thunder Bay, Friday 8 p.m. snow begins, intermittent through Sunday morning, Sunday 10 a.m. final snow ends. Total 25 to 35 centimeters snow. Toronto, Saturday, 4 a.m. thunder snow begins, 7 a.m. heavy snow, 2 p.m. peak intensity, 10 p.m. snow tapers, Sunday, 2 a.m. storm exits. Total, 25 to 35 centimeters snow. Ottawa, Saturday 6 a.m. mix begins, 11 a.m. changes to all snow, 2 p.m. peak intensity, 8 p.m. heavy snow continues, Sunday 6 a.m. snow ends. Total, 25 to 40 centimeters snow. Montreal, Saturday noon, snow begins, 6 p.m., peak intensity begins, midnight peak continues, Sunday, 6 a.m. snow tapers, Sunday noon, storm exits. Total, 40 to 50 centimeters snow. Quebec City, Saturday noon, snow begins, 7 p.m. peak intensity, midnight peak continues, Sunday 6 a.m. snow tapers, Sunday 10 a.m. ends, total 40 to 55 centimeters snow. Halifax, Saturday, 11 p.m. storm arrives, 2 a.m. Sunday peak winds and snow, 8 a.m. Sunday peak intensity continues, 2 p.m. Sunday improvement begins. Total 30 to 45 centimeters snow, coastal flooding. Here's what you need to do right now, today, before this storm hits. Fill prescriptions, get cash from ATMs in case power outages affect debit systems, fill your gas tank, buy batteries, flashlights, and candles, stock up on non-perishable food and water, charge all devices, locate your emergency kit, check on elderly neighbors, bring pets indoors, clear your yard of loose items that could become projectiles in high winds. For those in apartments and condos, know where your emergency exits are. If power fails, elevators stop working. Stairwells can be dark. Have a flashlight in an accessible location. Fill your bathtub with water before the storm for flushing toilets if water systems fail. This storm represents a significant threat to life and property across Canada, but with proper preparation and by staying informed, you can stay safe. The next video will cover the extended forecast beyond this storm, because there are 2 more systems developing for next week, one tracking toward British Columbia Tuesday and another forming over the Great Lakes Thursday. Subscribe now so you don't miss those critical updates. Comment your city name below right now, and I'll personally respond with any additional details specific to your area. Share this with family and friends across Canada. Everyone needs this information before Friday morning. The next 48 hours are preparation time. Use them wisely.